So, when talking about encryption, and especially in networking, we have symmetric and asymmetric encryption. So these are the two types that we will be focusing on for the rest of this course. So the symmetric algorithm approach is where we have the same encryption key, meaning the same secret between the sender and the receiver, and then both of us of course know the algorithm. So for example, if we have this AES algorithm right here, then we are using this algorithm to encrypt and decrypt, but we are using the same key, so the key used to encrypt is also the same key used to decrypt. This means that the sender and the receiver needs to know the same key. So by using this, you will lose what we talked about in the last lecture, non-repudiation, meaning that we can't really track down if something goes wrong or someone get access to some of our clear text, because every party involved use the same key. Whereas in symmetric or asymmetric, we can hand out different keys to different people, and then we know if something gets broken or something gets compromised, we can track it down to which key was compromised. But here we are sharing the same key, meaning that we need to find a way to transfer this key. So this is one of the downsides of symmetric key encryption, because we need to transfer the key securely, because if someone gets hold of the key on the way to the receiver, then he can decrypt the message in the same way as our intended receiver can. So we can't really tell the difference between people when we are using this. Then we have asymmetric encryption, where we have different keys and for different parties, meaning that we will have a public key and a private key. So take for example this one right here. Our private key is a key that we need to keep for ourselves, meaning that this is a hidden key. Then we use this private key to encrypt this message right here. So our private key is used to encrypt it, and then we have a public key associated with this private key. So the public key allows us to decrypt the message. So if we send a message by encrypting it using the private, it will get into ciphertext. Our receiver can use the public key to decrypt it. Then he also knows that we are the one sending it, because our public key will only work with our private key, so these is a pair of keys. And then when he needs to send something to us, he can use our public key, which is available to the people we choose to share it with. Remember, private key should never be shared. You should keep this secret at all costs, but the public key can be shared to anyone you need to communicate with. So when your partner will send you a message, he will use the public key to encrypt it, and then he will send the ciphertext, and the only thing that can decrypt this message is your private key. So you are not using the same key for the encryption and decryption. Besides these two encryption ways, we also have one-way hash, which is we take a value using a hashing algorithm, and then we hash it into a ciphertext, and we can't track it back, meaning that we cannot take this text and get it into its original value. It's a one-way term.